my child was about 5 and a half, I had taught her the names of some letters and their sounds. And I put the sound, each one letter on a card, and I pointed to the letters and she made the sounds. So she said, a, t. And I was excited that she had just read her first word. I was all ready to replace the with a b, and then replace it with a k, and so on and so forth. And it would be just a great time. She would be able to read all of these words. But instead, she didn't know what word she had read. She said each sound, dutifully. A, t. And I said, what word is it? And she didn't know. She couldn't tell me. I tried to have her do it a little bit faster and blend the sounds together, but she couldn't figure out the word. And it was very frustrating. And I didn't know what to do about that. I had been teaching my child phonics, which is, the letters and which sound goes with each letter. I had done this with lots of kindergarten kids, and this is exactly how we had done. We had first learned a bunch of letters and the sounds that go with each letter, and then we had sounded out words with it, and they were excited and they were so anxious to go home and tell their parents all the different words that they could read. That's what I had been looking forward to happening, but somehow it didn't happen. That began a lot of frustration for us, and I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know if, is it just she's not ready yet? Maybe she's just not old enough. Every child does not develop exactly the same. You don't have like every child getting their first tooth at exactly the same age, or walking or talking at exactly the same age, and they're not necessarily ready for school at exactly the same age. I knew that it was true that every kid develops at a different age, and I thought maybe I just need to wait. I just need to relax. My child needs to just play outside and grow a garden and play in the big cardboard box that our new stove came in and play house in there. So I tried to relax and just let those things happen. But at the same time, I heard all these voices telling me all kinds of things, like, people telling me, oh, my child is only 6 years old and they can already read at 6th grade level. All kinds of people, it seemed like, were saying that type of thing to me. And then I also heard all kinds of educators that would say things like, well, if your child is behind in 3rd grade, they will stay behind. They'll never catch up. They'll be likely to drop out of school. You just get it. You can't help but worry about these things. So I began to research, and I wondered if she had an auditory processing disorder. I wondered if she had dyslexia, and I didn't know what to think. Well, eventually we did get a diagnosis of dyslexia, and we finally did find the key that unlocked the solution for us, and it was phonemic awareness. We needed to work on phonemic awareness. The National Reading Panel in the year 2000 came out with 5 essential components for reading, and phonemic awareness is the very first one. I hadn't really heard of it or known anything about it. I thought phonics was the first thing, but actually phonemic awareness is before that. I wanted to read you a quote from this book. This is the textbook from the class that I took this summer, and the authors are Judith Birch and Suzanne Carricker. Anyway, in here it says that phonemic awareness has a causal relationship with literacy achievement, and understanding it in kindergarten is the single best predictor of later reading and spelling achievement in 1st and 2nd grade. A phoneme is a sound. It's one unit of sound, the smallest unit of speech. It's the ability to make the word distinguishable from another word, even though they're very similar, like the ability to tell the difference between mat and cat. They're only one letter different, but you can hear the difference. Phonemic awareness doesn't have anything to do with letters. It has to do with hearing. You're not seeing the letters, but hearing the sounds of each individual sound of speech. And so the foundation of it should start before you even start learning the letters. And you can start learning the letters simultaneously, and that's good. You can learn the letters and the sounds that go with the letters, but it's a different, those are two different skills. The good news is that phonemic awareness can be taught. So even if your child doesn't come by it naturally, it can be taught to them, and you can teach it systematically and cumulatively so that they will be able to, and once they're really good at that, they'll be a lot better at reading and spelling and fluency. Fluency is really, phonemic awareness is like a foundation for being a fluent reader. Phonemic awareness is the first of the 5 components of essential components of reading instruction. And next time I plan to talk about the second building block of teaching reading, and that is phonics. So see you next week.